Hello, good morning. Good morning to every one of you. How are you? How are you? Good afternoon or good evening, depending on the location you're watching me from. You are welcome to today's Sunday's program, Managing Diabetics. You are all welcome. All right. I'm about 1 hour late. Okay. But I came back to, I don't know what I came back from the hospital late. So I have to recover from sleep. So, how are you guys? I believe today we are going to have a good audience. Please indicate where you're watching from. Kindly indicate where you are watching from. I believe today we are going to have a very, very good audience. Indicate to me where you are watching from. You are welcome to today's program, Living with Diabetics. Okay, you are on this page, Managing Diabetics. Today we shall be discussing insulin overdose, science and risk. That is what we're going to be discussing today. What is the science and risk of insulin overdose? Okay, so please indicate to me where you're watching from for me to acknowledge your presence. I always like to know where you are watching from before we start this program. I'm going to be sharing a link soon. I'm going to be sharing a link for those who wants to call in, join the program live. Okay, if you are interested to join the program live on the live video, you are going to use the link that I'll be sending for you to join the program. So I'll be sharing the link on the comment section soon. Regina, you are welcome. You are welcome. So this morning, we shall be discussing insulin overdose, the science and risk. Uh, Lockhart, you are welcome. Watching from St. Vincent, you are welcome. So we shall be discussing what are the science and risks of insulin overdose. Okay, you are all welcome. I shall be sharing the link. Let me share the link now for those who wants to join the program live. You can open the link on your phone and then use it to join the program live. Okay, that is the link. For those who wants to join the program, you can use that link and then join the program live. While we are waiting for everybody to come online, if you have any question at the moment, feel free to ask your question. All right, if you have any question before we start the program, feel free to ask your question. Okay. You are all welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to all of you. Nice to see you guys. Let me see what we can do here. All right. I shall be right back. I'll be right back in a minute. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and start. I have 1 hour to go with this program. Regina, are you there? Lockhart, are you there? So what is insulin? What is insulin overdose? Okay, we all know what is overdose. What is overdose? Okay, it's like any other medication. You can take your painkiller. Okay, they tell you to take one painkiller every 12 hours. Okay, or they tell you to take one per day. You can only take two painkillers. You can only take 2 tablets of painkiller within 24 hours period. All right, and instead of taking 2 within 24 hours period, you take 4. That is an overdose. Okay, so overdose applies to all kinds of medications you are taking. There is a limit. Okay, overdose can occur on the number of tablets you're supposed to take per day, okay, or per hour, or it could be an overdose. I mean, by dosage. For instance, there's a painkiller, maybe due to your health system, you can only take a painkiller that is 100 milligram. Doctor say you can only take this painkiller like Fensic or Panadol or Tramadol, not Tramadol, please stay away from Tramadol. Just any painkiller, 100 milligrams. Instead of you go to the pharmacy, chemist to buy a painkiller or Fensic or Panadol or different kinds of brands. Instead of you to go for 100 milligrams, you go and buy 200 milligrams. Already you are taking an overdose because you're supposed to take 100 milligrams and not 200 milligrams. So it can occur in different forms, either by number of tablets or in terms of dosage. Okay. So Lucy, you're welcome. So insulin also has an overdose. Okay, insulin also have an overdose. An insulin overdose occurs if a person with diabetes take too much of the medications. Okay, this can lead to symptoms of hypoglycemia such as sweating, confusion, and rapid heartbeat. So if you take too much insulin, every diabetic person, there's a number of insulin prescribed for you depending, because there's different type of insulin in terms of the target range, in terms of hours it's going to work. Some are going to work for 1 hour before you take another one. Some are intermediate, some are short range, intermediate, or long range. Okay, so if you take too much of it, it can cause you to have hypoglycemia. We all know what is hypoglycemia. You're going to drop your sugar level down. So you got to be very careful when taking insulin. Okay, so an insulin overdose can occur if a person with diabetes take too much of that medication, and this can lead to symptoms of hypoglycemia such as sweating, confusion, and rapid sugar level drops too low. Okay, yes, amount of level your sugar is going to drop. You start having that symptoms of hypoglycemia. It occurs with sweating, confusion, and rapid heartbeat. Your heartbeat increases. So we're going to look at what is the dosage. What amount of insulin can you take? Then it is referred as a dosage. The correct insulin dosage differs from each individuals and can depend on factors such as the time of the day you take the medications and if you are insulin resistant. Okay, taking an excess amount can result in an insulin overdose. So we're going to look at what are the signs and risks of taking too much of insulin. An insulin overdose is a medical emergency and requires immediate medical treatment. So once you have an insulin overdose, it's not something you have to treat at home. It's something that requires emergency treatment at a hospital. Okay, so we're going to look at what are the signs and symptoms of insulin overdose. Now, we all know that excess of insulin in the bloodstream can cause cells in your body to act. You guys have to understand this. Excess insulin, okay, excess insulin in the bloodstream can cause cells in your body to absorb too much glucose from the blood. Okay, it also causes the liver to release less glucose. Now, one thing you have to understand, the insulin, okay, let me try to explain how the insulin works when you have excess. Remember, if your body releases the required amount of insulin to get rid of those excess glucose, all right, to get rid of those excess glucose, what does it do? It drives those excess glucose floating in your bloodstream into the cells or tissues of your muscle to be used as a fuel source of energy. And then the remaining one is stored in your liver that can be released later to be used as a source of energy. So when you have excess glucose floating in your bloodstreams and your body releases insulin, it's supposed to get rid of those excess glucose and drive them into the cells and tissue of the muscle to be used as source of energy, to walk, to cook, to run, to do all kinds of things. And then the remaining one is stored in your liver. Now, I want you guys to differentiate when it becomes excess. When you have excess insulin, what happens? When you have excess insulin, instead of it shifting it into the cells of your tissue of the muscle to be used as a fuel, it does not do so. Your excess insulin does not move all those floating excess glucose into the cells of the tissue of your muscle to be used as a fuel source of energy. Rather, it absorbs those excess glucose from your bloodstreams. You understand it? So it's not shifting it into the cells of your muscle to be used as source of energy. Rather, it absorbs those excess glucose from your bloodstreams. And when it absorbs them, it causes the liver to release less glucose. Okay? Now, these two effects, that's what causes you to experience hypoglycemia. Your sugar level drop suddenly, and then you start sweating, shaking, confusing, and then faint because you cannot stand. Your eyes are turning around because your sugar now dropped. Okay, that is what we call hypoglycemia. So that is the reason why you shouldn't have excess insulin. When your body have the normal insulin, it move all the excess glucose into the bloodstreams. It moves all the excess glucose into the cells of your muscle that you can use it as a source of energy. But when it becomes excess, it absorbs those excess glucose from your bloodstreams, and also it forces your liver to release less glucose when your body needs glucose as a source of energy. With these two effects, it forces you to have hypoglycemia. Your sugar drops down. So that is why excess insulin is not good. All right. Your blood needs the right amount of glucose for your body to function. Okay. Glucose is the body's fuel. Without it, your body is like a car running without a gas or fuel. So the severity of insulin overdose can depend on how low your blood glucose drop. So you have to avoid excess insulin at all times for you not to experience those hypoglycemia. Now, what are the symptoms of insulin overdose? Let's look at the symptoms of insulin. We have the mild hypoglycemia. Okay, symptoms of low blood sugar may include, when we talk about mild hypoglycemia, it means you're having your sugar level is dropping low, not severe, but it's dropping low. So sweating and sweating, as I said, sweating, it causes sweating, confusion, and then rapid heartbeat. You start experiencing chills. Okay, chills comes in, anxiety comes in, lightheadedness or dizziness comes in. Now, mild confusion, nervousness, shakiness, irritability, rapid heartbeats, hunger. You start experiencing double vision or blood vision, and then tingling in the leaves or around the mouth. You see your lips start shaking. Those are mild hypoglycemia when you have excess insulin in your body. All right. So now, am I making any sense to you guys? Do you guys understand what I just said? Do you guys understand what I just said? I need a response. Okay, Lockhart says yes. So I'm going to repeat these symptoms of excess insulin. I say one is mild hypoglycemia. Mild hypoglycemia. When you have excess insulin, you're going to experience mild hypoglycemia. Your sugar level drop a little bit. And what are the symptoms of those mild hypoglycemia? I said one is sweating. Okay. Let me see something here. Hold on, I'm trying to do something here since you guys. So now we are reading about mild hypoglycemia and what are the symptoms that occurs when you experience mild hypoglycemia due to excess insulin. I say one is sweating and clamminess and two is chills. Okay, number 3 and number 4, let's do it this way. Number 3, number 4, and then number 5. So number 3 is anxiety, and number 4 is lightheadedness or dizziness, and number 5 is mild confusion. What we're the first symptoms of excess insulin overdose is mild hypoglycemia. And then these are the symptoms when you're experiencing mild hypoglycemia. Okay, so that's 5. Let's go to 6, 7, and 8. Let's go to 6. 7, 8, 9. So we have 6, nervousness, 7, shakiness, 8, irritability, and 9, rapid heartbeat. Now let's go to the last one. Okay. 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And then we have 10, hunger, 11, double vision, and 12, tingling in the lips or around the mouth. So these are the symptoms of mild hypoglycemia. So one symptom of insulin overdose is mild hypoglycemia. Now, under mild hypoglycemia, these are the symptoms that I just listed. All right. Those are the symptoms that I just listed. Now, these signs indicate a mild or moderate case of hypoglycemia. Okay. And one thing again is that it still requires immediate medical attention so that you don't lead it to dangerously low blood sugar levels. So once we're experiencing these symptoms, mild hypoglycemia symptoms, and then you are taking insulin, all of a sudden you took an insulin and they start experiencing these symptoms, you got to find out, why am I getting these symptoms? All of a sudden I'm sweating, I'm confused, irritated, my heartbeat increases. There's a possibility you've taken an overdose of insulin. You got to experience, and then the next thing you see that your blood sugar level drops. Okay, this requires immediate medical attention once you experience insulin overdose. It's not something you treat at home. You have to go to the hospital to get it reversed as soon as possible. Okay, now, okay, So when you have your sugar level drops, okay, before you get yourself to the hospital, you know what to do. That's a temporary relief to boost your sugar level up. I've said it several times. Once you experience your low sugar level drops, you know what to do is to find something that contains sugar, take it to bring your sugar level up. And then at least that's going to give you energy to get to the hospital to reverse the trend of overdose. They're going to clean up your system and then restart your insulin back again. So because you wouldn't like your sugar level to continue dropping. So once you have this smile, you figure it out that I have an insulin overdose, your sugar level drops. You don't just say, let's rush the person to the hospital, because the more you leave the person without treating the symptoms of low blood sugar, the sugar will keep dropping and it's going to lead to a dangerous state. Because remember, when your sugar level drops and you are sweating, it means your oxygen is not reaching to the brain. So gradually, the person, the major organs are shutting down. The nerves are continuing to shut down. The blood is not flowing properly. So what you have to do was to do a temporary relief is to find something that contains sugar and give the person to keep the sugar level within that range and then rush the person to the hospital to clean up the system of that insulin overdose and then restart it again. So the person is going to be under observation. They're going to keep the person in hospital for observation until the insulin is get rid of and then restart it again. But in the meantime, at home, you must treat that low blood sugar level back up by getting something that contains sugar and give the person to boost it up and then take the person to the hospital. Okay? Then your system, within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you see that your sugar level is going to come up, but you still need a medical attention to get rid of those excess insulin in your body. Because what happens now is that instead of getting rid of those excess glucose level moving into the cells of your body, now it's been absorbed from the bloodstreams, okay, and then your liver is not releasing enough glucose that the body needs as well. So you are continuing experiencing low blood sugar level. So they have to reverse it, clean your systems and reverse it whilst you're under observations. Now, the second symptom of insulin overdose, okay, is severe hypoglycemia. Remember the first symptom? The first symptom is mild hypoglycemia. Now, the second symptom is severe hypoglycemia. So you see that you start from mild. That is why I say you must not allow it to continue. You have to rush the person before it goes into severe. That means your sugar level is going dangerously low. You are about to pass out. Oxygen is not reaching your brain anymore. So you have to treat that mild. Stop it there by giving something that contains sugar. Keep it in the target range and then rush the person to the hospital. Otherwise, it's going to lead to severe hypoglycemia. So the second symptom is severe hypoglycemia, and then we're going to look at the symptoms under the severe hypoglycemia. All right. So if you have insulin overdose, you're going to experience mild hypoglycemia, and there are symptoms that accompany mild hypoglycemia, which I just listed 1 to 10. Now the next one is severe hypoglycemia, and I'm going to give you guys the symptoms for severe hypoglycemia if you have insulin overdose. We have who is here from watching from Malawi. Emon, you're welcome. And who again? Bless Marilyn. You're welcome. Marilyn, where are you watching from? Okay. So Guyana, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, let's look at the severe hypoglycemia. You guys know what is severe hypoglycemia is. The opposite of mild. When something is mild, it's moderate. When something is severe, it's worse. Okay, so if you are taking insulin and it gets to severe, it means your blood sugar reading is below 54 milligram per deciliter. If you're taking insulin to treat your type 1 or type 2 diabetes, it means your blood sugar level is below 54 milligram per deciliter. Okay. Now, what are the symptoms of severe hypoglycemia due to insulin overdose? Is diabetic shock. There's something they call diabetic shock or insulin shock. There's something we call diabetic shock or insulin shock. Okay. And then the symptoms include confusion. One, just um, I'm trying to do something here. Just, so, as I was trying to say, okay, a severe symptoms of hypoglycemia, sometimes referred to as a diabetic shock or insulin shock. One, the symptom one is confusion. I said one is confusion. Okay, one is confusion. Number two is seizure. Okay, number two is seizure. I'm going to put it out here for you guys. Just hold on. Now, this is the symptoms of severe hypoglycemia. We have one as confusion, two as seizure, three as difficult seeing clearly, and four unconsciousness. That is when you are having severe hypoglycemia. Okay, that is when you are having severe hypoglycemia. Okay, so if you are having these symptoms and you are taking insulin, it means you are having a severe hypoglycemia due to insulin overdose. Now, if a person becomes unconscious due to too much insulin, you should call ambulance and rush the person to the hospital as soon as possible, or put the person in a car and take them to the nearest clinic. It can be helpful for anyone taking insulin to have glycogen available, as it can counteract the effect of insulin. So if you're taking insulin, make sure you have glycogen at home, okay, glucogen, because it can, counteract the effect of insulin. So if you have any insulin overdose, you can take glucogen, to counteract the effect of insulin overdose. This typically needs to be injected by family members or emergency personnel. So once you have glucogen at home and you experience this severe severe hypoglycemia, you can inject yourself glucogen. That can counteract with the effect of insulin overdose immediately. Okay, so that's why I said to you guys, once you have insulin overdose, it requires immediate hospital attention. Now, keep in mind that even if you use glucogen to treat hypoglycemia, you should still go to the emergency hospital. Yes, you must go to the emergency hospital. It's not something you treat at home. You must go to emergency hospital. Now, how do you determine the dosage? So in terms of the insulin overdose, there are two things, there are two symptoms on insulin overdose. You're going to have mild hypoglycemia or severe hypoglycemia, and then each of them have their own symptoms. Okay, so those are the symptoms and then the risk. Now, how do you determine how do you determine dosage? Your doctor that is prescribing you that medication is going to tell you how to use it, okay, and when it becomes a dosage. Now, like all medication, it's important to take insulin the right amount as advised by your physicians. The correct dosage will be beneficial without harm. So once you're taking the correct dosage, you are likely to encounter any problem of insulin overdose. Now, we have something we call basal insulin. It's the insulin that keeps your blood sugar level steady at all day. Okay, there's something we call basal insulin. That insulin that keeps your blood sugar level stable at all day. Now, the correct dosage depends on many things, such as the time of the day, and if you are insulin resistance. For mealtime insulin, the proper dosage depends on other factors. So we have the basal insulin, and then we have the mealtime insulin. Now, the basal insulin is the one that keeps your blood sugar stable all day. And then the correct dosage depends on the time of the day and if you are insulin resistant, if you are going to be on basal. Now, if you're going to be on mealtime, okay, the proper dosage of mealtime insulin will depend if you are going to be taking it either fasting or pre-meal blood sugar levels. Are you going to take it fasting? Okay, when you've not eaten anything, or you're going to take it before meal, or the amount of the carbohydrate content on that food you are going to eat, and again, any activity planned after your meals. For instance, once you finish taking your meal, are you going for a jog? Are you going for an exercise? Are you going for the gym? So it depends what you're going to do after your meal. Now, if you have any insulin sensitivity, it's going to be taken into considerations. And again, your target post-meal blood sugar levels. These are the things that are taken into consideration if you're going to be taking your meal, if you're going to be on mealtime insulin plan. So remember, we have the basal insulin and we have the mealtime insulin. The basal is the one that keeps your blood sugar level target, blood sugar steady all day. Then we have the mealtime. The mealtime is the one, the dosage is going to be given to you depending on all those factors that I just listed. One, if you are going to be taking it during fasting or before meal. One, if depending on the amount of carbohydrate in the food you're about to eat. Now, if you have any activity lined up after your meal, are you traveling? Are you going for a party, dancing? Are you going for a gym? And again, are you insulin sensitive? And again, what is the target for your post-meal blood sugar levels? So after your meal, what is your target range for your blood sugar levels? These are the things taken into consideration before they put you on a mealtime insulin. All right. Now, there are several types of insulin medications. Some are fast-acting and will work within 15 minutes. Okay. And there are short-acting regular insulin begins to work within 30 to 60 minutes. And this type of insulin you need to take before meal. So those fast-acting, short-term acting are the type of insulin that you have to take before meal. We have the long-range one also. Okay, that is a long-lasting insulin. So everything depends on all those factors that I just listed to determine the dosage of your insulin. So now the last thing again is that the strength of your insulin may also vary. Okay, may also vary depending if you have any underlying illnesses. So the way insulin works with one patient might not be the way it works with you. So there are different things they consider before giving you the proper dosage of insulin. Are you having any underlying illnesses? Are you taking any other medications? These are the things doctors take into consideration before planning your insulin dosage. All right. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Do you have any question before we proceed to the next thing we're going to do? I'm waiting for. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So if you have any question in the next 20 minutes, we are going to done. Today is going to be a short day. We don't have much to discuss today. It's a short program today. Okay, so we're going to be fast on this. All right, now I'll have 20 more minutes to go with you guys, and then all right, let's see. There's something we call accidental insulin overdose. Okay, accidental overdosing of insulin is not as rare as it may seem. You might overdose accidentally if, all right, you forgot a previous injection and take another before it is necessary. That's what we call accidental insulin overdose. If you forgot a previous injection and take another injection before it is necessary, that could be referred as accidental overdose. Now, another reason why it could be classified as accidental overdose are distracted and accidentally inject too much. During your injection, you are distracted by something else. You don't know when you overdose yourself with too much insulin. Now, the next one is when you are unfamiliar with a new product and use it incorrectly, that could be classified as accidental overdose. All right. Now, forget to eat or have an unexpected mealtime delay. Okay, you're supposed to eat at this particular period of time, you forgot and eat it at a later time. So, and then those things could be classified as accidental insulin overdose. And again, is exercise vigorously without changing the insulin dose as needed. So that is why I was saying before, your dosage depends what is going to happen after you finish meal. Are you going to go for a gym? Are you going to go for running? Are you going to go for a long drive? That will determine the required dosage that needed, depending on what you are going to do after your meal. So exercise vigorously without, when you know you're going to exercise vigorously after meal, then you have to increase your dosage or reduce your dosage, dependent. Now, take someone's dosage by mistake, could be classified as accidental, and then take morning dose at night, vice versa. Instead of you take a morning dose at night or take a night dose in the morning, those could be classified as accidental insulin overdose. Okay, so those are the reasons you might have accidental overdose. All right. Do you guys have any question? Chembo, do you have any question? Lockhart, do you have any question? Regina, are you still there? Do you have any question? Emma, Marilyn, you have any question? All right, let's move on so that we could. So now realizing you have overdose can be a scary situation. Once you know you overdose, like when you take other medications, you realize that your overdose is a scary medication. It can be beneficial to understand the symptoms of insulin overdose and then know how to seek medical attention. So that's why they say knowledge is power. So when you realize that you accidentally overdose yourself, it is scary moment. But once you know the symptoms of overdose, then you'll be able to treat it immediately. Okay, so do not be in a panic situation when you realize that you accidentally overdose yourself. The most important thing is to realize the symptoms and then know how to handle the symptoms of those overdose and then treat it accordingly. All right. So, so let me see. All right. Now, let me go to my final thought about insulin overdose. This is, we're not going to waste much time on this. It's a short, everybody now understand about overdose. My final thought on this is that whether it is accidental or intentional, okay, insulin overdose can be a life-threatening situation. Some instances of high insulin and low blood sugar can be fixed by eating something high in glucose. I've said it several times. Anytime you experience hypoglycemia, that your sugar level drops, find something that contains sugar and take it. It's going to boost your sugar level up within 15 to 20 minutes. And then, but still, you need a medical attention in the hospital once you know that you have insulin overdose. However, severe symptoms that do not respond to treatment should be treated as an emergency. If you are with someone who is showing severe symptoms of insulin overdose, take action right away. Call for help and then rush the person to the nearest clinic for medical attention. So these are the things you're supposed to do once you realize that either you or somebody you're taking care of accidentally or intentionally have an insulin overdose. First of all, do not panic. Recognize the symptoms, treat the symptoms, and then seek medical attention in the clinic. That is the best thing. Do not go into panic. The more you panic, you are putting the person that has the overdose into stress, more stress, to be confused, and then the blood sugar level is going to spike. Okay? Or it's going to come down. So you as a caregiver, or if you are the one that is having that insulin overdose, just relax, understand the symptoms of insulin overdose, and then treat it accordingly. And then get yourself to the nearest clinic for medical attention. That is how to solve it. Panicking cannot help you. Okay, just relax and then be calm, and then recognize the symptoms of insulin overdose, and then you'll be fine. Okay. Do I have any question? Because on this particular topic, we're not going to waste much time on this because it's a short topic to be understood. Do you have any question? All right. Identify yourself where you're watching from, please. Kindly identify yourself where you are watching from. All right. If you guys don't have any question, I'm going to let you guys go and then enjoy your Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, depending on your location. This is it's a short topic. It's not something I'm going to waste much time on this. All right. So if the absence of any other questions, I'm going to say to you guys, enjoy your weekend. And then if you guys have any other question, you can send it to my page and I'm going to answer it. And I always read your comments. So if you have any other questions, do not forget to send in your questions. At my earliest convenience, I'm going to respond back. All right. So in the absence of any other questions, I'm going to let you guys go now to enjoy your weekend. And we're going to meet sometime this week. In the middle of the week, if time permits, I will have a session with you guys again. But I'll still be posting videos for you, keep you guys engaged. And then we'll take it from there. So once again, I thank you guys for joining me on today's program. And let's keep you guys to keep reading and keep watching the video and keep sending your questions, and I'm going to respond at my earliest convenience. So Regina, Lockhart, Amon, Chimbo, I'm going to say to you guys, enjoy your weekend. We're going to meet during the week. Bye-bye.